Hi there, and happy December. Christmas is definitely in the air, and welcome to this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. This is actually episode 93, if you can believe that. We're getting close to the big 100, which will hit fairly early in the new year in January. Anyhow, what's going on this week? For our business breakthrough, I'm going to talk about education-based marketing as the best way I can think of to get your word out about your product or service. For our real estate tip, I'm going to be talking about how to invest even in a flat market. And for our mindset minute, I'm going to touch on being in charge of your own financial destiny. Stay tuned. Okay, so for this week's business breakthrough, we're talking about a specific kind of marketing, and that is education-based marketing. Now, what is that? Well, what it isn't is what you typically see out in billboards and normal advertising where a company is trying to get us to buy their product or service right off the bat. So it's Coca-Cola, 6 cans for $1.97. That's not education-based marketing. That's just, here it is, buy it now. Education-based marketing is where you're trying to do what's called lead generation. You're trying to get your prospective customer, client, to put up their hand and say, yeah, I'm kind of interested in what you are talking about, and get them in the loop and educate them about your product, your service, or whatever it is that you are offering. So, for example, this could be putting out educational events like we do, where we talk about rent-own real estate investing, or my good friend Darren Weeks with Fast Track, How to Get Rich in Canada. For years he did that. But for any kind of business, if you're a real estate investor, a small business owner, you could do a special report around the general topic of whatever it is that is the specific problem that your target market has that you solve for them. So again, we are entrepreneurs, we're problem solvers. You solve a specific problem for your target market. So you create a special report about that. For example, the 3 biggest mistakes homeowners make when they're thinking about getting the roof replaced, if you're a roofer, for example. Something like that kind of an idea. That way you get your target market, they're homeowners, who are kind of thinking about that sort of thing. They're thinking about the roof. You say, okay, it's no risk to get this special report. I'll get it, and that starts the relationship. So that's what, in a nutshell, education-based marketing is, and that's why I think it's so important for you to focus on that rather than just, here's what I got, buy it now. Take care. All right, and for today's real estate tip, I want to touch on how to profit even if the real estate market is flat or even going down slightly. So when I was at the recent Vancouver Investor Forum, met up with one of our long-standing Canadian Real Estate Profit members, Gary from Port Alberni. Gary Spencer Smith, I believe is his full name. Very, very sharp young guy. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed connecting with him. In fact, he was it was so brilliant what he was doing that I actually did a whole interview with him for Canadian Real Estate Profits. But one of the things we talked about is how in Port Alberni, which is a small town on Vancouver Island, about 18,000 people, the market's pretty flat. In fact, certain areas it's going down a bit. How he's still able to invest in single-family homes there and do very, very well with it. And what his trick is, in a nutshell, is basically he finds that within that market there are still neighborhoods that the property values are increasing in, and he looks for undervalued properties, so fixer-upper type homes that he can get into, purchase for a very, very good price, and turn around and put a suite into. So he actually turns that into 2 doors instead of 1 door, and that's a way that he has instant equity. Plus, the cash flow is much, much higher than it would be otherwise. And the costs that he puts into renovating it and putting the suite in aren't that significant compared to just renovating it in the first place. So very, very smart tactic, something you could think of if you're in a market that's kind of flat or you're worried about the market that you're in going flat in the near future. That's your real estate tip for this week. All right, and for today's Mindset Minute, I want to talk about being in charge of your own financial destiny. Now, obviously, if you're watching this is Canadian Profits TV, you're interested in entrepreneurship or real estate investing, one and the same basically, or investing of some kind, you're interested in improving your financial situation. So you probably already get this, but it's really been struck home to me recently by friends and acquaintances of mine who are going through job or career fluctuations. Been there many times myself. I know the feeling. But what it really brought home to me is the importance of having something on the go that's your own thing. So if your job gets taken, if the rug gets pulled out from underneath you, your job goes away, it evaporates, you get fired, you get laid off, your company dissolves, what have you, you've got something else to fall back on, and you're not dependent on looking for another job. So what happens if you're already currently employed and you don't have another source of income? Well, then I would highly recommend that you look at different opportunities, different options to get into business for yourself part-time in your spare time. Get something up and running. Network marketing is a good choice. Real estate investing, of course, is a very good choice. Having a side business on the go of whatever kind, just in case, heaven forbid, but that rug gets pulled out from underneath you, you aren't left without any footing. All right, so that's a little bit about being in charge of your own financial destiny. Thank you. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. As we're filming this, I'm actually going to be heading out to California tomorrow morning. I'm going to be attending an event in Los Angeles put on by a friend of mine from my Glazer Kennedy Mastermind days, James Malinchak, who's a world-class speaker trainer. So I'm attending his 4 or 5 day, it's a long boot camp, all about big money speaker, about being a professional speaker. So very interested, looking forward to that. And from there, we're going to spend another week and a half or so in California. Myself, Susie, the kids, even the dog, Rocky's coming along with us. We're going to hang out in California for another week and a half, check out Disneyland, visit family, friends, that kind of thing, and then on to Mexico for our annual trip down south for our Mexican Christmas with my mother and my brother and his family and the whole gang. So for the next few weeks, we're going to be doing some pre-recorded Canadian Profits TV episodes, just so that you know, and we might hopefully be able to send in some videos, and my good man Wagner can patch them together and tag them on top of the normal videos as well. So look forward to seeing that. What else is going on? For all of our rent-own, cash-on-demand students, just a reminder, January is coming up very quickly. We're having our next Rent-to-Own Profits Summit, which is going to be January 25th, 26th, and 27th here in beautiful Kamloops, BC. If you are a current rent-to-own student, remember you and a guest get to come to that event for free. Check it out at r2oprofitssummit.com. If you're not a rent-to-own student, you can check that out as well and look at a way of getting involved and being able to come out to the event as well. So check that out. And until next week, have a great one. Bye-bye.